everyone. The feature race on Saturday at Santa Anita is the $100,000 California Distaff Handicap. 6.5 furlongs on turf for California bred fillies and mares. And this race will be run on the iconic downhill turf course at Santa Anita that Santa Anita resumed using this autumn after nearly 2 years without a downhill turf sprint. When I say resumed using, there's probably an asterisk required, because the truth of the matter is Santa Anita seems to be using the downhill turf course as little as possible. In fact, through Friday and including the 2 turf sprints on Saturday, there will have been 21 turf sprints this fall at Santa Anita. 21 turf sprints. 17 of them will have been run on the flat, and only 4 on the downhill turf course. Average field size on the flat turf races, the 17 on the main oval, 10 starters per race. Average field size down the hill, higher class horses, 3 stakes and a 2 other than allowance. But the average field size for the downhill turf sprints, only 7, including the 6 that are entered in the California Distaff. So with regards to resumption of downhill turf racing, and by the way, the downhill turf course at Santa Anita has long been a favorite of both horse players and horsemen. But for Santa Anita to resume the downhill turf course program, but hold back and not use it at all, it seems to be kind of a contradiction in terms. There is another downhill turf stakes race scheduled for Sunday, the California Flag. But from my perspective, I would love to see Santa Anita card more downhill turf races as opposed to the turf sprints that have been run on the flat that outnumber the downhills by 4-to-1 ratio. At any rate, it's nice to have a downhill turf sprint on Saturday, and it's the California Distaff. Let's take a look at the field for this 6.5 furlong grass race. And the class of the field, well, she's on the inside. Number 1, Warren Showtime. She faces a razor sharp filly by the name of Bellavita. And those are the 2 principals in this field. And it's kind of a strange race because there is really no true, honest to goodness front runner in the field. There are a couple of fillies in here with speed. Anna Fantastic has some speed. She's generally forwardly placed, but in 10 career starts, she's only made the lead once out of the gate. Bellavita has enough tactical speed to be forwardly placed. And the class of the field, Warren Showtime, a 6-time stakes winner, she could potentially be compromised by the lack of pace to run at. Warren Showtime rallies from behind, and she needs a little bit of pace help. And she also would appreciate if this race was 2 turns. The fact is, Warren Showtime has made 5 starts in sprints, and she's 0 for 5. All 7 career wins have been around 2 turns. I don't think it matters, but I bring it up. Well, it does matter. It does matter. I still think she's the horse to beat. Let me rephrase that. Warren Showtime, I think, is the horse to beat, but she faces a tall order. Okay, let's talk briefly about the pace scenario and focus in on one of the early pace types that is expected to be on or near the lead in this race, and that's Anna Fantastic. She's not a stakes caliber filly yet. She's only started 10 times, but she comes off a pretty good win last time out. And that was the only time in Anna Fantastic's 10-start career that she made the lead out of the gate. Let's take a look at the stretch run of Anna Fantastic's most recent start. It was August 14th at Del Mar, racing 5 furlongs. She popped the gate. She made the lead. She went easy early, 22 and 3, 45 and 2, and she won by 3/4 of a length. This was a 1 other than allowance. She's moving up in class. It's actually a pretty good race because the distance between the 2nd and 3rd place finishers was relatively significant. Anna Fantastic should be on or near the lead. She might even set the pace. And if she does coming down the hill, she could be long gone. They're not going to be going that fast early. They can't, because even Anna Fantastic, a front runner, 22 and 3, that's not exactly smoking on the Del Mar turf course, which is where she won her most recent start. So she'll be a pace factor, and maybe she can steal it. But Bellavita, who's arguably the sharpest filly in the field, and that's based on her most recent start, and it was in late August at Del Mar, and this was one heck of a performance. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bellavita's career best effort last time out, August 29th at Del Mar, and she rallied from off the pace, and she won convincingly by more than 4 lengths. Bellavita did. This was a one other than on the main track, and now she's moving to grass. But Bellavita has started in 3 turf sprints, a win, a second, and a third. She also is already a California bred stakes winner. She won the Spring Fever earlier this year, a Calbred Stakes for fillies and mares on the main track. I'm not sure who's going to be favored. It might be Bellavita. It might be Warren Showtime. But when all is said and done, the horse to beat is the deep closer who is compromised by a lot of factors. The distance, 6.5 furlongs, is too short in a relatively paceless race. The pace scenario does not work in favor of Warren Showtime. She packs high weight of 124 pounds, and yet I still think she's the horse to beat. She's won 7 of 20 starts. 6 of her wins have been in stakes races. She's won 2 graded stakes races. Every one of Warren Showtime's victories has been around 2 turns. She's 0 for 5 in sprints. Maybe that ends on Saturday. This the Cal Distaff is race number 7. And let's take a look at the 2 graded stakes wins by Warren Showtime, including the Wilshire. This is the grade 3 Wilshire run earlier this year at Santa Anita, and Warren Showtime's going to win this race going away as the 2-1 favorite. Good solid win by this daughter of Clubhouse Ride. And then if we go back a little bit earlier in her career to the Autumn Miss last fall, she did the same thing at a mile on turf. Warren Showtime is one tough customer when they go 2 turns and when she gets pace to run at. This is the first graded stakes win of Warren Showtime's career, and she was up by a neck. Who did she beat in this race? None other than Going to Vegas. Going to Vegas has since taken her spot at the top of the filly mare grass division. She won the yellow ribbon a couple weeks ago and is headed to the Breeders' Cup filly mare turf. So the point is this: Warren Showtime, a 2-time graded stakes winner. She's backing up to 6.5 down the hill in a race that does not set up well for her closing style. And yet I still think she's the horse to beat. A 7-time winner from 20 starts, Warren Showtime. I think that she can mow them down. Sometimes in a slow pace race, if the field bunches up, you're looking for the best finisher. And there's no doubt that Warren Showtime is the best finisher. The question is, how much ground will she need to make up in the stretch, or will the likes of Anna Fantastic and or Bellavita have scampered away by then and give Warren Showtime too much to do? Warren Showtime, by the way, her full brother, Warren's Candyman, won a race on Monday via disqualification, and her full sister, 2-year-old full sister, runs Saturday in race number 9 as a potential upsetter. But when all is said and done, the Cal Distaff Handicap on Saturday at Santa Anita, it's race number 7. I think that Warren Showtime can mow them down, maybe. Warren Showtime, race 7, Saturday at Santa Anita.